All right, Screen Teamers, we are back with the Screen Team. We are doing a very, very special Jimmy Stewart themed show for you today. We just got done reviewing the movie The Philadelphia Story, and now we're moving to a more darker, more thriller-based movie, which is called The Rear Window. It was directed by Alfred Hitchcock and stars Jimmy Stewart, also the very beautiful Grace Kelly, which I like a lot better than Katharine Hepburn.
Yeah, Grace is, man, she's just drop dead gorgeous. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. But before we get into the movie, you were talking about Jimmy Stewart, and you were talking the fact that he was, such a great guy. And with this particular movie, his wife was worried because Grace Kelly was in this film, and Grace had a certain personality of taking.
Don't you think that would be hard to be the spouse of a movie star?
Oh, yeah.
When they're kissing their co-stars, that would be tough.
Of course, yeah.
I can understand her being a little concerned with Grace Kelly.
She was worried about it, but there was nothing to fear.
Oh,
man.
no.
Nothing to fear at all.
He was a great guy.
Yeah.
He was a great guy.
But not in this film, he wasn't.
Well,
he was a stalker.
He was kind of a stalker, yeah.
He was a peeping Tom for crying out loud.
Tom through the whole movie, the whole thing. If you've never seen Rear Window, you really need to. I've seen it a million times. Watched it again just recently, kind of preparing for this, and to me, I think it's brilliant. The shots that Hitchcock did, that basically the whole movie is from his apartment looking out at his neighbors.
Yeah.
That's all. The whole movie is shot right there, and yet you get all these individual stories from each window that he's peeping in.
Without any dialogue.
Yeah.
It's all visual.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's really a cool flick.
Yeah, I mean, each person has their own personality. The one of the roommates or one of the apartment, one of the neighbors, was another beautiful woman, and she was, always
a dancer, dancing around in her underwear.
Like I said, he was a
with
peeping
the window
Tom.
open.
Yeah, none of these people cared. They had their windows open, Yeah. But there was one particular window that kind of caught Jimmy Stewart's character's eye, and that was the character of this older gentleman.
Yeah. Had
this beautiful silver white hair, but he was, one night having an argument with his wife, and
who you can tell from just as Hitchcock develops this story, that she's bedridden. So she's obviously got health issues, but she's kind of a nag. Yeah. You get all this just looking through the window. We didn't even mention that Jimmy Stewart's character is the reason he's doing this. He doesn't do this all the time. He's just stuck at home with a badly broken leg. And so this is what he's kind of done to pass the time.
Yeah.
He obviously not a big reader because he wasn't reading.
Do you think that would hold up in court?
No, not today for sure.
But he's also a famous in the film. He's a famous photographer.
Right. He's traveled all around the world and done his photography thing. So, but he's restless because he's stuck there.
Yeah,
that's why he's peeping on his neighbors.
And like you said, one of his neighbors, he hears kind of a ruckus, or he notices something, and he kind of gets to suspecting that maybe his neighbor has done something to the neighbor's wife, basically.
Yeah, because he's looking through the window. All of a sudden, she's not in that bed that she's been in the whole time.
Yeah.
Her husband's doing some strange things. He's going out in the middle of the night with he's a salesman and carries a case of his samples and stuff. And he's going out in the middle of the night and then being gone for a little while and coming back with his sample case. Well, you're not selling stuff in the middle of the night. And so Jimmy's character's thinking, something's not quite right here.
Yeah. I was interested in this film, and I don't know if you know. I don't know. I guess I'm just asking you. This film, for pretty much all the movie, takes place in one scene, in his room, and as he's looking out at other people's rooms. Is this based on a play? Do you know? Or has it become a play? Because it has a play type feel to it,
it would be a great play.
Yeah.
It would be, if somebody hasn't written it as a play, they should.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a great. I hadn't even thought of that, honestly.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
So does this movie scare you? Is it a...
It's, I have said it's been a long time since a movie truly scared me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This movie, I can't say it scared me, but it definitely compels me.
Yeah.
To keep watching. even though, and I deliberately watched it in the dark, just so that I could create that ambiance, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I can't say it scared me, but I find it very intriguing. It's a great storyline.
Yeah. This is like the third time I've seen this movie, and I've seen this movie like in 10-year increments. I remember seeing it.
Every 10 years, got to watch Rear Window.
Yeah. I remember the first time I saw it was at my grandpa's house. He had it like on VHS or something, and I watched it. I'm like, this movie's boring. Like, I fell asleep through it.
Well, as a kid,
Well, then as the second time I fell, like in my 20s, I fell asleep on it again. This third time I did not fall asleep on it, and I had
You got it, didn't you? You finally got it.
A little bit. Like, I put Hitchcock in the same ball that Katharine Hepburn's in.
Oh, no.
Yeah, man.
No,
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
No, not at all,
Chris,
man.
I did not know this about you.
What, that I don't like Hitchcock?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I like Psycho, but that's about it.
Psycho rocks.
Yeah, I agree.
Psycho's a great movie.
But Birds and Vertigo and...
But you know what? If you had a phobia of birds, I guarantee you that movie would have scared the bejeebers out of you. Think about it. There are people that are afraid of birds.
Really?
There are, yes. Yes, there are. It's got a name. I don't know what it is, but it's got a name.
Birdophobia.
If you were scared of birds, that movie would scare you. Yeah. It would.
I will say, though, watching this third time, I definitely have a better appreciation for this film and the way that Hitchcock develops the story and shows you the story, visually. I mean, he did an amazing job.
It's one of my favorites of his because of that.
Yeah.
Just because of the way he made the movie. It's one of my favorites of his.
All right, let's hit on Jimmy Stewart a little bit. Okay. What did you think about his character in this role? Did you like it? Yeah.
I loved it. I even though I've seen it a million times, every single time I watch Rear Window, at the beginning of it, I had this really kind of funny feeling like he's not doing right. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just that, he's a peeping Tom, for crying out loud. He's peeping on these people. But then you get into the movie and you kind of forget about that.
You let that one slide.
You become the peeping Tom too. So you get right in there with him.
Yeah, the movie is called Rear Window. Definitely a flick to check out. If you like suspense, if you like thrillers, it's definitely one of those classics to check out. And it stars Jimmy Stewart. Coming up after the break, we're going to review Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. It's next on KWOC.